when I consider the heavens. What is man that thou art mindful of him? Psalm 8, verses 3 and 4. On February 5, 1971, Brother Ed Mitchell piloted the Apollo 14 lunar lander Antares to the moon's surface. Stepping outside, the stunning view above left him dazed and disoriented. The distant Earth and sun became vivid blue and brilliant white orbs suspended before him. They hung in the stillness of piercing, steel-white stars immersed in an ineffable blackness, a silent, infinite shadow box of everything amidst nothing. In an instant, the view left Mitchell breathless and, moreover, changed his life. On the return flight, Mitchell's job was essentially done, giving him time to contemplate what he had seen on the lunar surface. He concluded he had experienced a euphoric, visceral moment of knowing. Back on Earth, Mitchell said the awe-inspiring view brought a sudden and intense change in his psyche. It generated a dissatisfaction with the state of the world and a compulsion to do something about it. You want to grab a politician by the scruff of the neck, he said, and drag him 250,000 miles out and say, "Look at that, you son of a bitch." He became deeply interested in the state of consciousness, likening the experience with the Sanskrit term Savakalpa Samadhi, or a state of ecstasy and oneness. We all experience this phenomenon differently, he explained. I know some would go right to a religious explanation. Mitchell, however, wanted to know more about it. He had experienced what he called a deep knowing, that the universe was not a random accident, but a mysterious, connected unity, a symbolic, infinite manifestation of the quantum particle connectedness Einstein called spooky. He wanted to know why it happened and, more importantly, what it meant. This ephemeral event so stunned Mitchell that in 1973, the hardcore, no-nonsense test pilot founded the Institute of Noetic Sciences to research the nature of consciousness and the interconnectedness of all things. Today, years after Mitchell's death, the Institute continues his mission to explore a scientific view of our inner experiences, a bridge between science and our otherwise inexplicable existential world. Mitchell's public scolding of petty politicians and near obsession with his experience led to a greater public awareness of the phenomenon, which has been right in front of us since the first astronaut took flight. His son of a bitch remark, which resounded with the general population, went viral. Space philosopher and author Frank White followed up by interviewing several astronauts who had been through this experience firsthand. He called the phenomenon the overview effect, and in 1987 published their thoughts in a book with that title. White discovered almost all astronauts have had a form of this experience upon viewing the unfiltered heavens. He found a variety of after effects on those who had seen this unique and awesome view: religious, spiritual, environmental, esoteric, and political. While there is no statistical difference between the reactions of male and female astronauts, there is a clear difference between those who describe their reactions to viewing the Earth from space versus viewing the heavens. Simply put, look down and your concerns focus on the planet and its people. Look up and you focus on the infinite mysteries of the universe. On Apollo 15, Al Worden experienced the first and only deep space extravehicular activity when he left his command module during the journey back from the moon. His stunning view, suspended halfway between the Earth and Moon, was such a catalyst for introspective reflection that he became a poet, writing his first verses while still on that voyage. Brother Gordon Cooper felt it confirmed a higher power and composed a prayer in orbit, which he later delivered to a joint session of Congress. Brother Wally Schirra said it gave him a sense of dignified freedom and being born again. To Brother James Irwin, the experience was not just a psychological shift. It was a full-scale religious conversion. He arrived at the moon as a casual Christian, but returned a devout evangelist. Even unyielding hero of the Soviet regime with its atheistic stance, Alexei Leonov, the first person to take a spacewalk, experienced a profound psychological and spiritual change. He became an artist, painting views of the universe. Later in life, he openly practiced and expressed Russian Orthodox beliefs. There are many other examples, but perhaps Brother John Glenn said it best. To look out at this kind of creation and not believe in God is to me impossible. It just strengthens my faith. I wish there were words to describe at least some of the feelings you have, but I don't think those words have been created yet. It gives you a completely different perspective on how you live your life and what you think is important. None of us is an astronaut. None of us will ever have the privilege of seeing this pristine, unveiled view of the cosmos. Or will we? Head out on some cloudless, intensely clear winter night to a place miles from any city lights. Stand in the middle of a field with the air hanging crisp and still and no obstructions on the horizon. Survey the canopy of heaven with the mist of the Milky Way painted across the deep black sky. Marvel at the myriad of stars you never realized existed before. Turn to the south and see Orion, looming larger than he has ever seemed, awe-inspiring and overpowering, staring straight back at you as if you alone are the focus of creation. Remember the words of Brother Glenn. Remember the 8th Psalm. Remember, astronomy is that sublime science which inspires the contemplative mind to soar aloft and know the wisdom, strength, and beauty of the great architect of the universe. Stand there long enough, and the vices and superfluities that plague your 24-inch gauge may soften. Daily annoyances and problems gain perspective. These are the same stars that changed the lives of brothers Mitchell, Glenn, and the others. They might just do the same for us earthbound voyagers. For the Whence Came You podcast, this is Steve Harrison with the Masonic Minute.